all those places. It's Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And somebody already done said, good evening, everybody. That's right. And I say that too. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Let me see. I'm making an adjustment here. I might be able to get that a little better. Bam. Okay, I think I like that right there. Right there. I think we're good. We're good. Move that just right there, the perfection in me. All right, now, welcome to the show. It is Tuesday, and the chaos has just begun, ladies and gents. Yeah, man, they're acting a fool out there in these streets. We knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. We knew they weren't going to just let President Trump go ahead and into the White House without throwing a complete hissy. Now, they don't want to go ahead and get all hissied out. That's the thing. See, when you throw a hissy up front, you burn yourself out. Like, you ever had a kid that is crying for nothing because they got to go to bed, and they start off, and all you got to do is just leave them be. They can't sustain that type of yelling and screaming, especially considering nothing's really wrong with you for that long. So I guess they're going to go ahead and start off screaming and hopefully burn themselves out. I want to see their throats go ahead and catch on fire for all the whining. So we're going to be talking about some of that because Donald Trump is back in the house and he's dropping executive orders all over the place. Stuff is shaking and moving, and they can't take it. They can't take it. So with that being said, I'm assuming you guys can hear me, so I might as well go ahead and get busy. I rock the planet. Beating my chest like real Godzilla. Real Godzilla. Real Godzilla. What? Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Welcome to the Gorilla Clan, y'all. And that, of course, is in Kevin's Corner. Yeah. Yep. Where I make sense out of nonsense. At least I try to. Some sense, some nonsense you can't make sense out of. But I do try. So with that being said, make sure you hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms. The links are below. Want to support the channel? You can do that several ways. You can, of course, text MAGA to 330-974-4607. This way, just in case they unexist me on this platform, we'll be able to stay connected. Number two, you can check out Kevin's Corner store where I got some merchandise that you can purchase if you like it. And then number three, if you want to support the channel through my Cash App or my PayPal link, they are below each video. Now, with that being said, y'all, President Biden is getting some backlash. Okay. Backlash because of his decision, last minute decision. See, surely Biden wasn't planning on pardoning his son and all those evil folks that's been going after Donald Trump for the last 4 years. Now, surely he wasn't planning to do that, right? So he's getting some backlash because apparently he did it. But then Trump comes along today and do what he promised he was going to do, which is pardon the J6ers, right? Now, this wasn't no surprise. They've been asking him, Mr. Trump, are you going to pardon the J6ers? Yes, I am. Forever. But yet they've been asking Biden about pardoning his son and his family and all of them. No, not going to do it. We're not going to be like Trump. And now he went ahead and did it. So there's some backlash. Not enough of it, though. So let's go ahead and get into it tonight. Oh, yeah. Pardon hypocrisy.
Joe Biden is being blasted today after his final act as president granted preemptive pardons to allies and family members who have not been criminally convicted.
How you like that? Preemptive pardons. Woo, it don't get gooder than that. That's what it is. It don't get gooder than that. When you sitting back like, yo, man, apparently I didn't commit a crime, but just in case I did, I already got me a preemptive pardon, baby. Now, that is ridiculous. That right there is the most blatant sign of guilt I've ever seen. Not to mention, the preemptive pardons are backdated. He took them back just right at the moment where all the corruption started in his family. So that's pretty ironic. I wonder how the Democrats are going to handle this. I wonder how the media who all says that Donald Trump's evil, he's a dictator, and all of that stuff, and he doesn't value our norms and he doesn't care about law and order. I wonder how they're going to handle juggling this. This is kind of like when they were mad at Trump saying, oh, he took on classified documents, y'all. I can't believe it. This guy, he might have nuclear codes in his house. We got to raid his house. Yeah, all of that stuff that went on with the FBI, only to find out that, President Biden took some home too. Only what he took home was during him being a senator, which is absolutely breaking the law, see, absolutely. But then they had to juggle it. Oh, it's different. See, after Biden, he cooperated and gave the stuff back, but Trump didn't. See, so now they got to go ahead and contort themselves to try to make this make sense.
Here's the breaking news for you. Remember?
Starting off with this guy with the lisp. Here's the breaking news for you. Yeah, we are starting off with Don Lemonhead Lamone up here trying to put a quick spin on this, y'all.
Remember, people were upset that Joe Biden pardoned his son, Hunter Biden. Well, Joe Biden, President Biden, pardons his family on last day in office. Why is he doing that?
Because he's corrupt. He's doing it because he don't want all of that corruption and crime to get investigated and lead back to him. He saw those investigations that the Republicans were doing on his son and all those shell companies that led to nowhere. He saw them producing all of that evidence, all of those whistleblowers, Joe Bobulinski, Tony Bobulinski coming out like, yo, I was in the meetings with him. That guy right there, he's the big guy. That 10% was reserved for him. He saw all of that. You don't think Joe saw all of that mess? So he's like, yo, I got to pardon the crackhead so I can save Creepy. So he pardoned the crackhead so he can save Creepy, but the crackhead ain't the only one that's involved in the crime. His brothers were too. He was funneling money all through the family. Keep it in the family. It's a family affair. Full-blown crime family. And so that dude pardoned his whole crew. Unbelievable. And so now Don Lamone's got to make an excuse for it.
Is it unprecedented? Yeah, it is unusual, but it's also because of the unprecedented.
It's also because of, here it is. Yeah, anything's justified based on Trump. It's only justified because it's an unprecedented because of Trump.
An unusual administration that we have coming in, and he cannot trust his family in the hands of Donald Trump's Justice Department.
But yet Trump trusted his family in the hands of Biden's Justice Department. And look what they did. They went after everybody. Trump could have done the same thing that Biden did, but he didn't. But yet Trump's the dictator. Trump's the fascist and all of that stuff. Now, would a real dictator or fascist leave his friends and family vulnerable to the Democrats of all people? The same people who was investigating him day one over some stupid mess talking about he was a Russian agent. So what would make him think that they would stop investigating him after he left the White House, especially if they thought he was going to run again? So if anybody had a reason to do some pardoning, it was Trump. He know exactly who he was working with. He's seen the handiwork of the Democrats and the deep state when it comes down to coming after him. They were coming after him the whole time. Hit him with the Russia collusion, then of course the first impeachment, then the second one, and all of that mess. So if anybody would have said, yeah, I better go ahead and start pardoning some folks, it would have been Trump. But Trump didn't do it. Biden does it. And then not only that, through Biden's whole presidency, he was allowing them to go after Trump rapid fire. But Don Lemon is saying Trump's Justice Department can't be trusted. Therefore, that's why he had to do it. Even after Biden was all over the place, I'm not going to be like Trump. I won't pardon my family. It won't be right. And this and that.
Department. What do you think about it? Let me know in the chat.
I think you're a hack, Don Lemon. That's why you got fired, you big dummy. But wait a minute. Check this out.
Pardons for the January 6th committee members, including yourself?
No, I don't want it. Look,
You don't want it?
No, because
You hear Adam signature? So Biden went ahead, pardoned all of the folks that was on the J6 committee, and of course he pardoned his family. Now that's not suspicious, is it? That's not suspicious. So he was the judge, the jury, everything. He did it all. Now here comes crying Adam Singletary trying to man up and act like he's tough. I ain't got nothing to hide. No. I don't want no pardon, man. Get that mess out of here. Now, because you know what? If you get a pardon, that means you must did something, right?
Because the second a pardon is issued, and look, I understand the theory behind it, because Donald Trump has clearly said he's going to go after everybody. And it's not going to be for...
Clearly said. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear him clearly say that. He has talked about how corrupt these people are, and they probably should be looked into, but he didn't drop everybody's name. Liz Cheney definitely needs to be investigated. That's why she's on this list. But this whole J6 committee, of course, was corrupt. It was unlawful in the first place. All right. And they got rid of all the evidence. All the evidence. So, of course, these folks need pardons. But he wants to go out trying to pretend he got some integrity and ain't got nothing to hide. So what he's going to do is say, nah, man, I don't need no pardon. Forget that mess. But I'm going to take it, though. You got me, right? You got me? Oh, man, I had to take it. I had to take it, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to. So he's trying to act like he's tough. He don't need no pardon and stuff. But he's going to take it.
The January 6th investigation, what they'll do is they'll weaponize other investigations.
Oh, my God. I can't even believe these people. It's like they don't even stop for a second to realize every single thing this dude is talking about, the Biden administration did to Trump. Every single thing. They're going to they piggybacked over so much stuff just to get to Trump with all of these Frankenstein pieced together, jerry-rigged investigations and prosecutions. But this guy, one thing's going to lead to another, and then they're going to bunny up. This is unbelievable. And this was supposedly a Republican at some point. This guy right here needs a football to the groin. Thrown by me in my prime. When I had a gun. Phew. So let's go ahead and finish hearing him pretend that Trump's the evil one and he ain't got nothing to hide.
Look into everything and start an investigation that'll end up coming to naught, force people to pay money. This happened to Brad Raffensperger.
You mean it also happened to Trump, Giuliani, pretty much Michael Flynn bankrupted him. Happened to a whole bunch of people in Trump's, campaign. But now all of a sudden, there's just issues that make people pay money. And it even happened to Trump. Big cankles, Godzilla feet. All right. Queen Latifah up there in New York tried to beat this man for like $500 million and was going to take his property. And he's talking about that. They try to bankrupt you. They try to... Of course, he knows how it goes because we just saw it all play out against Trump. Then they give his money away to some crazy chick that says that Donald Trump touched me improperly when we was inside of a mall. Nobody else on the floor. No witnesses, nothing. And she's crazy as a mug. But they needed a narrative to go ahead and throw it out there and say Trump's he's a molester and he's a this and this and that. So let's get the craziest chick that we can find that will lie and then give her some money. And because of a corrupt judge, we'll go ahead, you know what, he defamed her because he said he never touched her. He defamed her, so now give her $85 million. And he's talking about they bankrupt you, they'll bankrupt you.
In Georgia, yes, he was forced to defend himself. But the second you take a pardon, it looks like you're guilty of something. I'm guilty of nothing besides bringing the truth to the American people and in the process, embarrassing Donald Trump because for 187...
Embarrassing Donald Trump? He's back in the White House. Where are you? Without a job, sitting on CNN, being a fat rhino. That's where you are. You should be embarrassed. Do I see Trump on TV crying all the time? I see you crying, Adam Singletcher, talking about something like that. What did I do? Embarrass Donald Trump? No, you didn't. Because we all saw through it. Yeah, it's only embarrassing if it's true. We all going, that's not true. All the stuff they're talking about, January 6th, the greatest attack on our homeland, they tried to overthrow the government. And I'm looking at this crap and I'm going, that's not true. Yeah, you didn't embarrass Trump. What you did is you revealed yourself and everybody else that works with you. That's why y'all need pardons. Because not only do Trump see that you guys were corrupt in your dealings, but so do smart, intelligent folks that's been following this crap the whole time. I'm going, yeah, you better pardon yourself. Shoot. You better be lucky it's just Cash Patel and Bondi. Don't let me get nominated as the dang on. I'll be coming in like that's it. That we're issuing subpoenas immediately. That's for everybody. I will go riding through these folks' neighborhoods with a subpoena gun. Foop, foop, shooting them all over the place.
7 minutes, he sat there and did absolutely nothing and showed how weak and scared he truly was. So no, I don't want it.
How weak and scared. So now what is it? Is he weak and scared? First of all, he didn't sit there and absolutely do nothing for a long time. They lie about that too. See, they don't want to tell everybody that Trump tried to respond quickly, and then Facebook and all of them and Twitter, they took it down. They didn't want him to come out immediately and look like he was really trying to stop this so-called insurrection. They needed to let it marinate and develop. See, Nasty Pelosi probably was like, don't stop them yet. Let them continue invading. Yeah, so they needed that. They needed all of those folks in that crowd to say, push them up, keep going. All of those undercovers, they needed to make sure they create the narrative. So you can't have Trump coming out that quickly and saying, everybody stop. So we got to suppress that. Got to suppress it. But secondly, this guy just shows how weak and cowardly he was. Well, then we get the clavicle girl come out during the J6 testimonies and say Trump was kung fu fighting in the beast against 2 Secret Service dudes just to get over there to his people that was launching the insurrection. So what is it? Is he weak and cowardly? Or is this man like John Wick? But see, that's the whole point. When you're out there being a propagandist and a rhino like this, you don't think about that. But I do. So I got to call out the contradiction. Let's continue.
Well, the seeking of pardons.
Well, the seeking of pardons. Now, you know, it's pardon hypocrisy time, y'all. This is back when Jamie Ratskin had the big poodle. Yeah, he had the white curl sitting on top of his head. So let's see what Ratskin had to say about pardoning family members back then.
Is powerful demonstration of the consciousness of guilt, or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's what's so shocking about this.
The president seems intent on filling each of his remaining days.
Y'all see Mr. Burns? The president seems intent. See, this was back when they weren't thinking about that we gonna need a pardon later. Yeah, they was hoping that they could label Trump as being evil and corrupt by pardoning his family and friends. Yeah, it wasn't right back then. It wasn't right back then. So let's hear him go ahead and talk about how Trump would have been, just undermining all of our norms if he would have pardoned his friends and family.
Days in office with petulance, grievance, self-interest. The president's reportedly asking his staff about whether he can whether he can issue. President's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer. No.
No?
No, Mr. President. That would be a gross abuse of the presidential pardon authority.
So I wonder if crying Chuck Schumer right there called over to the White House. Hey, what are you doing, creepy? We're over here at the Capitol, and we just heard that you just pardoned your whole family. What are you doing? You're making the whole Democrat Party look like hypocrisy. That's what you're making us look like. Because they are. They're hypocrites. The whole party. When will people realize it? But here's the magic of the Democrat Party. These folks it don't work on us. These tactics don't work on folks who's been enlightened and is able to see through it. But they have this ability to come out and somehow make what they do, which is exactly what they're accusing others of doing, look like it's not the same. It's not the same. We are justified by doing this because we've used all of our avenues for the last 8 to 10 years to make Trump look so evil and corrupt that whatever we do looks like we are angels in the sight of our brainwashed folks, okay, compared to Trump. How you gonna judge us compared to Hitler? How you gonna put us in the same category as Mussolini or Diablos? So, I mean, yeah, we might have went ahead and, pardoned his family, but it was only because we were trying to save his family from Hitler. And their followers won't realize that's hypocrisy. They won't catch the fact that these are the real evil folks. They'll go, that makes sense. You got to save them from Hitler.
Did you accept your pardon, and would you advise your staff to?
Y'all ready for this word salad? Because we just watched him say that, now you can't accept no pardons back then. Now here come Ratskin. So watch him tiptoe around the tulips.
Except theirs.
Well, I'm not even sure that's part of the process. I'm trying to connect up with a lawyer to figure out whether you accept or reject a pardon.
Wait, aren't you a lawyer? I mean, any other time you got all the details and stuff. Remember just a couple weeks ago, before the election, we were watching Ratskin talk about how they were going to not certify the election and was ripping off all kind of laws that, according to the 14th Amendment, Section 3, line number 2. Yeah, he knew all the details of that. But now all of a sudden he's a little vague on accepting a pardon and stuff like that. Yeah, that is my question to Ratskin. Can you even pardon somebody for crimes they didn't do? That's a good question. Maybe we do need a lawyer. Wouldn't it be funny if it all got rejected? Come to find out, since there's no precedent set for that, because the Democrats had to do this, because their backs was against the wall and they know they're evil and corrupt. They're like, we got to do something crazy. Something ain't never been done. Okay, now it might get challenged, but we got to do it anyway. So now let's continue watching him word salad his way around this.
Because one interpretation I found from some cases is that a pardon is like an executive order or a legislative enactment. It's just public law. And so you don't have the choice whether or not to accept it or reject it. I know there's some
Y'all hear that? Yeah, you don't have a choice. That's going to be their parachute. All of these hypocrites that were saying Trump can't do it, Trump shouldn't do it. If he did it, it would be showing they're all crooked and evil and all that stuff. Now all of a sudden, I tried not to accept the pardon, man, but dang, gave it to me anyway, man. Yeah, I feel bad about it. But dang. Did you see me on TV talking about it? You see me up there talking about I don't want no pardon? Okay, cool. But it was greater than me.
So I'm going to try to figure that out and figure out, what to do. I have felt, as I've said for, many weeks about this now, that we are safe with the speech and debate clause, which protects us against both federal and state criminal prosecution as well.
I don't know about that. Because that J6 committee went above just getting up there and giving speeches. Y'all put together a whole investigation, packaged it up, sent it over to the DOJ, recommending charges be brought up, probably coordinated and allowed people in certain states that went after Trump to, get pieces and bits out of that whole bootleg investigation. Y'all went beyond just getting on the floor of, Congress and grandstanding like y'all usually do. So now all of a sudden you put together an investigation with all the evidence and then deleted it? Where'd all that evidence go? Man, that's messed up, man. Makes me think you guys are corrupt. Makes me think y'all were hiding something, Ratskin.
As civil lawsuits, this gives us obviously an added fortification against any efforts by Trump and his administration to do what they've been talking about with Liz Cheney and with Benny Thompson, which is, they've been concocting this whole theory about how Liz Cheney somehow suborned perjury or interfered.
No. She tampered with one of the witnesses. We all know it because we saw the email. This is the other fascinating part about the Democrats. They'll get right on these networks right here and tell you something is not true. It's a conspiracy. Those are just rumors, right-wing talking points. And you're going, dude, the email don't lie. We saw the email exchange and the communication, but we'll never know now, will we? See, that's the whole point. Now you can come out and say it's ridiculous because we can't even investigate her because she's been pardoned. And that was the whole goal. So y'all can now run this whole game of we ain't even do nothing. I mean, he pardoned us and everything, but we ain't even do nothing. So the only reason he pardoned us because Trump was going after us simply because we were holding him accountable for his crimes that he didn't commit, that we all made up in concoction. That's why we all got pardoned, right? Liar.
With the right to counsel, which is complete nonsense and has been refuted and debunked.
Weird. Who debunked it? What do you mean complete nonsense? Did you not read the Republicans' report showing that she contacted her, told her to get rid of her lawyer and everything? You didn't see that? Is it complete nonsense that Benny Johnson came out and said, we lost all of the evidence? Is that nonsense? Is that not reason to at least look into something? Because let's call it real. Remember y'all used to say, if you ain't got nothing to hide, if you ain't do nothing wrong, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Until now. All of a sudden, we're worried about lawfare, according to these guys who use lawfare, who set the tone. They wouldn't have to worry about pardons if they were not corrupt and went after Trump for the last 8 years. See, they wouldn't have to worry about it if they'd have left well enough alone.
By the Democrats on the House Administration Committee, but they've obviously been trying to torture out some reason to try to prosecute people.
Yeah, that's it. They're trying to, for some reason. You let me at him. I want to jump all over that poodle on top of his head and start to ripping it out. Just ripping it all out. Going crazy on it. So here he is. So obviously, for some reason, could it be the reasons that we watched you guys violate Trump's civil liberties, invade his crib, searched his house, drummed up all these charges, invented all kind of loopholes so y'all could bring charges against him? Could it be that? Could it be the communications we found out that was taking place between you guys and, of course, Alvin Bragg, and of course, Jack Smith, and of course, Fannie Willis, and all of these people? Could it be that? So could it be the years and years of the FBI listening to Trump, going after Trump, all of this? Could it be that? I mean, this guy right here is like, this is crazy. It's ridiculous. Why would anybody want to investigate us? We're squeaky clean.
And President Biden basically put it to bed.
Have you ever heard of somebody getting a preemptive pardon who was innocent
Wait a minute, the hypocrisy symphony time, y'all.
all crime? Who's just an innocent person? Have you ever heard of that? Just somebody getting a blanket pardon and they're an innocent person?
But no, it's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own.
Y'all hear Shifty Shift? No, it's the president's own family. It's people who've been covering up for him this whole time. Oh, wow. That didn't age well. You think maybe bug-eyed, pencil neck, watermelon-shaped face shift said, wait a minute, did I just hear this correctly? Did he just pardon his whole... Did he not see me on TV saying this is crazy? And it's obvious corruption. Let me call and say, hey, Biden, what are you doing? You can't do that. He didn't do that. Matter of fact, he's one of the people getting a pardon.
Family.
Is there an innocent explanation for someone to seek preemptive pardons for family members? Would you do that if you knew you were innocent and just worried about outside forces?
Yeah.
The answer to that is going to be no. If you haven't done anything wrong, you sit there and go, what do you need a preemptive pardon for?
There you go. If you ain't done nothing wrong, why you need a preemptive pardon? See, that was back then when they thought they could, stick it on Trump and say, look at him. He must be guilty of something. He's pardoning his friends and family. There was no excuse for all of these fake behind commentators and Democrats back then. But now, mum's the word. Let's continue listening to the hypocrisy symphony.
If he pardons people preemptively, he's essentially telling the public that these people have committed crimes.
Now, all you got to do is swap Biden's name for Trump in every one of these clips right here. That's all you got to do. Yeah, see, because what Biden just did is told everybody that not only is his son, guilty, but his whole family is guilty. And everybody else on that list, including Funky Fauci, is guilty. Because, hey, if you didn't do nothing, why would you preemptively pre-pardon these people?
And we may not be aware of what they are, but the pardon is clear evidence that crimes have been committed.
There you go. Just like some of these people now that we can't even investigate because you know what? We may not know what they are, but can't even investigate anyway now. But it's obvious that something was committed. The fact that he had to give them a pardon, something was going on. Let's continue with the hypocrisy.
I imagine if he decides to issue these preemptive pardons, it will be cast in a way that he is protecting his family and protecting their reputations from, villainous exterior forces that are against him.
First off, we should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability. And that
just swap Trump out with Biden. Hey, Biden might be losing his mind, but he got enough sense to say, I better pardon, Hunter and my family. Forget the J6 people. I had nothing to do with that because I'm not smart enough to coordinate all that stuff. But I tell you what, I want to make sure that video clip of him sitting there talking about how he had Ukraine's president fire that prosecutor from the board that his son was sitting on, making $80,000 a month, doing nothing. And reserving 10% for the big guy. So you best believe he used a little bit of that brain that he got left to say, pardon my family. Interesting. I'm telling you, what they're describing is Biden.
Out of his family members that pardons are a major obsession with him.
The idea of a kind of prospective pardon, this sort of permanent federal get out of jail free card, that seems to be what we're talking about in the case of this, right? With Giuliani and his 3 eldest children who, as far as we know, have not been convicted of a crime. Maybe they've committed a lot.
I would love to show all of these clips to these people right now. See, don't let one of these folks call me out there. We've been watching Kevin from Kevin's Corner. We like to bring you in and discuss the latest events with President Biden pardoning his friends and family. I will go in and I wouldn't even have to put up an argument. So you're telling me it's okay that Trump and all of his lawfare and this and that, and you're telling me that Trump pardoning all of the J6s, and I go, wait a minute, hold on, let me get some. There we go. And show them themselves saying that. So now what do you guys say about that? Remember you had said that? Now what you got to say, sucker?
And they don't want to face action. I don't know. It's weird. I wouldn't ask for a pardon. I don't think I deserve one because I don't think I've done anything criminal. But where does that come from? That concept that you can just kind of wave your magic pardon wand.
We have Tish James. We have Xavier Becerra. Mimi Roca is literally my DA in my town. There will be opportunities to prosecute these people, regardless if they abuse the pardon power as they are thinking.
Hopefully, Ellie, there will be a skyfall on this entire crime family, and there will be another day for them to die.
The president does indeed pardon, let's say, Rudy Giuliani or any members of his family. Would you see that, and I asked Preet Bharara this question, as essentially an admission of guilt?
I certainly would view it that way. I think.
What? I certainly would view it that way. Wonder if he views it that way now. You think any of them are viewing what Biden did with his family and the J6 committee and Fauci? Don't forget to throw that little midget in there too. You think they would say the same thing right now? Now, of course, we're going to see some clips of more hypocrisy when they have to try to juggle the fact that Donald Trump pardoned the J6 folks and Biden pardoned his family and all the J6 committee people. Isn't that odd? So the people who put together a bootleg report to go after Trump and all of the J6ers are mad that the J6ers got pardoned, but yet they themselves also got pardoned. Interesting. And he's one of them. This guy, one of the most corrupt politicians ever. This is the guy who's swore up and down, you shouldn't be talking to a foreign entity about nothing. So Trump's a Russian agent, and I got all of the evidence in plain sight that he never produced. And yet got caught on a phone call talking to what he thought was Russians, trying to coordinate and get some more dirt on Trump. This guy, who was censored when he was in the House, so he had to run over to the Senate.
I think millions of Americans would view it that way. If there was no belief in criminality, why would he think a pardon was necessary?
This is January 6th.
Well, look at that. So now you all saw the hypocrisy. You all saw them talking about, you know what? That he would definitely be admitting that he's guilty and all of his friends and family. That's, you know what? That's ridiculous. But here's Trump, who didn't have to do what Biden did or the Democrat Party. Trump says what he is going to say, and he does what he says he's going to do. We didn't have to wonder what Trump was going to do when he got in office when it comes down to these executive orders. People knew throughout the whole campaign trail that he was going to pardon the J6ers. Okay. People knew that he was going to sign executive orders to start deporting all of these illegal immigrants. They knew it. But yet the reaction to it is like they're hearing this for the first time. Yet throughout the whole campaign trail, whenever they would get a chance to talk to Trump, they would ask him about those two things. Immigration, how you going to get rid of all of those people? Are you worried about separating families and this and that? We got to get them out of here. I'm doing it day one. What that Mr. Trump did. And the whole thing with that, you're going to pardon the J6? Yes. But now that has happened, of course, the babies on the bus goes why.
And these are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
He pisses him off, too, by saying hostages. Because remember, they label them as insurrectionists. And, of course, you know what? Domestic terrorists. That's what they label them as. See, so they take a drastic over-the-top label to throw on these people that don't fit what happened And then they get mad when Trump say they're hostages. I would feel like a hostage too if I walked up to the Capitol and the door was open and the cops were standing there looking at me and it's okay, I'm coming in, okay? And they let me come in and walked around the building with me, arms over my shoulder. And then all of a sudden I find myself in prison for like 2 years and I'm watching the news and all they're doing on the news, this was the greatest attack on the homeland. I'm going, what? All I did was walk through the Capitol. I was inside the velvet ropes and everything. Didn't even bump the ropes. Didn't even bump them. In there for like 2 minutes. Now I'm doing 2 years. So they can build this narrative that Trump is the greatest threat to the homeland. And somehow, miraculously, he encouraged all of these people that didn't know they were participating in an insurrection to launch an insurrection with no guns, no weapons, MAGA hats, and cell phones. So I would feel like, yeah, I am a hostage because they're using this heavy-handed, attacks on all of those people so that they can build a narrative. Look, obviously something happened that was bad. Look at all the people in prison. You think we put them in prison just for shock value for everybody? No. Those folks are in prison because they did stuff. That's why they're in prison. Interesting. So now here he is, getting our hostages back.
Yes. Full pardon.
Full pardon.
Full pardon or commutation? Full pardon.
You heard him.
We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research. Nice to see you again. So this is a big one.
It's the big one. Y'all hear that? The big one. Here comes the big one, Elizabeth. Yeah, it's the big one. Because Biden, he pardoned like 2,000 people, but those people were all a lot of murderers and terrorists. I mean, just all kind of folks. He pardoned them. But nonetheless, here's Trump pardoning these people. And what I appreciate about this is he's a man of his word. Yeah. Anybody who voted for him, that listened to him on the campaign, they're not shocked. They're going, that's what he said he was going to do. But see, the difference is Trump said he was going to do it. Biden said, I'm not going to do it. Not going to be pardoning my family, stuff like that. Why would I do that?
Anything you want to explain about this? We hope they get him. We hope they come out tonight.
Tonight,
right?
That's right. Because see, if I've been sitting in the joint for 2 years for nothing, I'd be going, man, I don't want to stay here another second. I got locked up one time in Cincinnati on a mistake, but they caught me during the weekend, so I couldn't see a judge. So now I got to spend the weekend in the slammer. All right, ain't nothing worse than being in the slammer and you didn't do nothing. It's a different thing to say, man, you know what? If I'm being honest with myself, I stole the loaf of bread. Okay, I might be pretending, man, I ain't do nothing, but deep down inside, I know, man, I got the sticky fingers. But if you in the slammer, you go, man, I didn't do jack. Then they tell you, though, you know what? Because that's what happened to me. Lord, oh crap, we made a mistake. You know what, Mr. Kevin, release him right now. But it wasn't even right now. I had to go back over to the jail. They had to process me out. I sat in the cell. I didn't want to sit in that cell for another second, especially considering that was their mistake. But yet I got to sit there and wait for them to go through paperwork. Just stay right here. Well, why don't you just leave the door open so I can walk around like you guys, like I'm a free man? Because I didn't even do nothing. You know it now. Yeah, but still they got to go through their protocol. I'm sitting in a slammer, spending some extra time. Madder than a mug. So I get it. I know soon as Trump got in, it was like, please, that's the first thing we want you to do is sign this mess.
They're expecting it. Approximately 1,500 people. Six commutations.
Were there any cases you did not need for pardon of people?
We're looking at different things, but the commutations would be the ones that we'll take a look and maybe it'll stay that way or it'll go to full pardon.
The January 6th pardons are an abomination. But
the January 6th pardons are an abomination. Why? That's my question. See, only the people who they've convinced that the January 6th riots was an insurrection would think that. An abomination. See, no, what I think is an abomination is a whole year, of pretty much especially a whole summer, of Black Lives Matter and Antifa rioting, killing folks, burning down police stations, attacking police officers. I think that's an abomination. Took over a whole city block or so and decided out, you know what, this is our country. I think that's an abomination, and nothing happened to him. I think it's an abomination when the current DOJ director told the, I guess the Texas Rangers, don't mess with these folks that are harassing our Supreme Court justices over the Dobbs decision. Leave them be. I think that's an abomination. But yet this guy thought those pardons are an abomination.
This is day one, unfolding pretty much the way we expected it to.
So now they made her go back to work because the ratings are so bad, because she was doing like one show a week or some crap like that, still making like $30 million. So now she got to go back in because they're like, we need more propaganda. She ain't even gonna change her style. So the cow won't change her style. Rachel Mad Cow is back on the loose, man. All right, so watch this now. Here we go.
And yes, this is novel in American history, but it is also knowable in world history.
Okay.
Because it's the same stuff every other would-be authoritarian leader does.
Oh, God, see? Won't change the style up. Running it back. The would-be authoritarian leader. How long are they going to push that? How long are they going to hang on to that? Trying to get you to be convinced to see something that's not there. They're telling you this and you're going, but I need to see like examples of that. And now if you are psychotic, if you have bought into this and you become delusional, you'll start to see everything Trump does through the lens of this propaganda. And you'll start saying, well, that must be authoritarian. And I'm saying, no, it's not. No, it's not. You know what's authoritarian is forcing people to get the shot and then locking them in their cribs. That's what I think is authoritarian. Going after people's guns, spying on folks, trying to make sure we don't have freedom of speech, making the FBI sit in parking lots and write down license plates of people who disagree with abortion. That's what I think it is. But nonetheless, here she is trying to push this narrative somehow that we're supposed to believe that, I guess what Trump is doing is authoritarian. But wait a minute, how is it authoritarian? Don't worry about it. I'm Rachel Mad Cow. I'm just going to say it is.
Every country that has had to contend with a leader like that. And as Americans, we've had bad inaugurations before, including the one where one of the principals was too drunk to stand. We've had blatant cash in envelopes to the vice president corruption before. We've had political violence before. We've had civil war. But before, each of those things has been treated as a calamity and a scandal. This time, it's a platform.
Like, what is she talking about? This is what I don't get. You know what? If Trump was authoritarian, J6 would have never happened. You know why? Because he wouldn't have had to use a whole bunch of protesters with megaphones and hats. He would have said, look, I'm still the president. I'm going to unleash the National Guard or the military. That's what I'm going to do. Why waste the time telling people to go over to the Capitol and let your voices peacefully be heard when I could have just said, let's go ahead and let the military take care of this mess. I'm not leaving the White House. Hey, try forcing me to get on Marine One and leave and see what happened. Shoot. That's what he would have done. But he didn't. Got on there and left. But now all of a sudden, she's talking about authoritarian.
This is textbook authoritarian takeover 101.
How? Just saying it. Because I'm saying it? See? And there's bubbleheads out there that go, yeah, because Trump's evil.
Tactics. Which means today and literally over the next few days, they're going to see what they can get away with and how much they can cow people into not opposing what they're doing and not speaking out about what's wrong with it. More than ever, this is not a time to pretend this isn't happening.
Yeah, like when Joe Biden got up there and said, listen, we've been patient, but our patience is running thin. Now get the shot, and force people to get the shot by threatening their livelihood. That right there was scary. That was pretty authoritarian. Making folks wear their masks, telling them they can't go to funerals. But yet you can go to strip clubs. You can go all over the place to, different places. And then, don't forget, the Democrats didn't have to abide by any of that stuff. They didn't need to wear their mask or get their shots and stuff. That right there, that's authoritarian and things like that. And I could go on. I can go on and on because the Biden administration and the Democrats have laid the groundwork, the layout to what authoritarian behavior looks like. But according to her, this is very clear. And I'm going, what? I'm still trying to see it. Just like, you know what? You guys, all of you right-wingers and whoever else ain't even a right-winger, but didn't want to get the shot, you guys are responsible for killing grandma. All of you guys. This is the dang on virus of the unvaxxed. All of you guys. That right there, all of that mess. This woman pushed that. She was on her show telling everybody, you get the shot, you can't spread it. Yeah, as simple as that. The virus stops right there with you. And it was a lie. It was dis and misinformation. But now Rachel Madcow is back on the loose.
You're going to want to have a good answer when you get asked what you did for your country.
And I'm going to say, I saved that bad boy by voting for Trump. We made America great again, man. We stopped the real globalists from taking over. Because if we would have lost this election, it would have been over with. Game over, man. Yeah, this election saved America, at least for now. You know what I'm saying? But here she is talking about, you're going to be accountable. Yeah, you're going to have to answer some questions about where you were. I'm going to be like, yeah, that's right. I remember where I was at exactly when I went in there and said, Donald Trump, click. Yeah, I remember exactly where I was at when they shot him in the face. I was there. See, wonder how. I'm still wondering how that happened. Interesting. Probably something to do with people who's authoritarian. That's what I'm saying. But let's continue.
When your country started to take a turn this radical. We are here.
This radical.
It's happening in our lifetimes.
That the country starts to take a turn for that when it's this radical. Like opening up our borders and allowing 11 million plus people to come in within a time frame of 3 to 4 years. That'll change the country radically, real quick. You wake up the next morning and you got a whole bunch of immigrants standing outside your crib sleeping with tents. You didn't sign anything. You didn't vote on nothing. You're just like, where'd these people come from? Shut up, you white nationalist racist. But I'm black. Yo, so what? You white nationalist racist. Hey, that'll change the country radically. Or how about defunding the police so that the neighborhoods will become more, violent? Yeah, that'll do it. And I could go on and on. How about, trying to indoctrinate the kids and tell them, you know what? You don't know if you want to be a boy or girl, but it doesn't matter. You could be whatever you want. And matter of fact, boys can now play in girls' sports. And hey, don't worry about the bathroom thing. Slap a ponytail on your bald head. Don't even shave the beard. Just keep the beard. You're good. Long as on the inside you feel you're a woman, walk right in that woman's bathroom and take a leak standing up with your hands on your hips looking at the women. What? What's the problem? What y'all looking at? Well, sir, you can't be in there. What did you call me? Sir? Do I look like a sir to you? That's radical. Dummy, here she is.
Well, we are citizens responsible for the fate of our country.
Can I ask you, because on that point, I want to get you to...
Speaking of bathrooms, there's Bathroom Booker. We ain't seen Bathroom Booker in a minute, y'all. Oh, snap, with those big bug eyes. So Bathroom Booker, that would be my first question. Hey, bathroom, whatever happened with that bathroom gate? You know what I'm saying? Remember you was found that somebody said accused you in the bathroom kind of doing something, and then went a little too far with somebody getting fresh, man. And then, dude was like, man, whoa, what are you doing? Is that true, bathroom? Did you do that? But he didn't want to talk about that. So now he's going to try to juggle why pardoning, of course, the J6ers is wrong, but, we don't really need to talk about what Biden did.
Respond to this, because what I'm already hearing from people who work for Trump and are his allies is that there's really no leg the Democrats don't have a leg to stand on, because President Biden leaving today, issued a raft of pardons, including for his own family members and his sister and his brothers and their spouses, and then also for an activist, an elderly activist who is convicted of killing 2 FBI agents.
Killing 2 FBI agents. Wow. Biden pardoning trash. Folks that was on death row. I mean, he's just going all out on the pardons. I want him more corrupt and evil. How many people they kill? Okay, yeah, let's pardon him. So, of course, no J6ers killed anybody. In fact, there were J6ers that were killed. As far as everybody knows, except the Democrats, they still say police officers were killed. But yeah, pardoning them is an abomination. Pardoning these people, though, that she's talking about, it's good. It's good. So let's continue. Let's see how he contorts himself on this.
Ray did not even want him to commute that sentence that President Biden did today. They say that doesn't give Democrats an argument here to criticize these pardons. What is your response to that?
I mean, I think that's the mistake we're seeing now is people trying to reduce this to tribalism. This is not.
No, it's not. It's not reduced to tribalism. For the simple fact, Trump was going to pardon them, whether Biden pardoned his son, his family, and the J6 committee and all of that or not. It's principle, bathroom. But you guys look horrible because it was your party that was criticizing Trump for even discussing pardoning his friends and his family. Y'all up there talking about we're above that. We wear the white hats. We take the moral high ground. And if he does this, this is an admission of guilt. It was you guys that was doing all of that mess. All right? It was you guys that were saying, we ain't going to pardon nobody. It was Biden who said, I'm not going to pardon my son. Won't do it. And did it. Then ran it back. Pardon not just the son, the crackhead, the whole family. And then to say, now let's go ahead and drop some pardons on all of these people who helped coordinate these attacks on Trump. But now all of a sudden, this tribalism. No, it's not tribalism. What are you talking about? So here we go.
Not about Democrat or Republican. You know, Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
But he won't, because y'all aren't going to hold him accountable. Y'all don't care. Yeah, deep down in your heart, you knew he was going to pardon his family and his son. And you also knew he had to pardon all of these corrupt committee members as well. Because if we dig around in there and find out that y'all coordinated this whole J6 thing, FBI involved and everybody else, that would blow the Democrat Party to hell. And it would also blow the narrative that they are hanging on to. That Trump's insurrectionist, he's a two-time convicted felon, and twice impeached. And yeah, you get in there and you find out that you guys were involved in corruption like Hillary Clinton was. Because remember, Trump was a Russian agent until an investigation took place to only find out it was Hillary Clinton who paid for that dossier. Never paid the price for it, though. Never paid the price for it. Now, isn't that odd? Yeah, so this is why. Deep down, they knew, man, he's going to have to pardon these people if we don't stop Trump. If Trump mess around and still become president, our parachute is to pardon him. They did the pardon parachute.
What he did and his reasoning. But the people he pardoned, his family members, did not, before the naked public eye, beat police officers, try to overthrow.
No, they beat the system. That's what they did. They didn't beat police officers. They beat the system.
Our government, lead to the death of police officers.
See, once again, lying. There it is. Beat police officers. You know how many police officers were beat over the summer of love? When Trump won the first time, they rioted in New York, and it was hundreds of police officers that were beaten and hurt. You didn't hear nothing come out of the Democrats. We got video after video of them burning down police stations, beating, throwing stuff at police officers, and yet the Democrats would say these are mostly peaceful protests. Mostly peaceful protests. Never came out and condemned that mess. Yeah, all of that. But now here's Bug-Eye talking about beat police officers. Yeah, I like to know the details of that so-called we beat police officers and stuff like that. But not only that, his guy's trying to blame somebody got murdered by the J6ers, which is a lie. But they still say it. And then you got Caitlyn right there with her teeny dang on baloney lips, all right, sitting there just because she knows he's lying about the police officer getting killed, but they just let it go.
And have injuries, scars, both visible and invisible, on police officers that are still affecting their lives today. This is not about left or right in our country. We can't just say this is a tit for tat, or their side did it so my side can do it. No, this is about the values and principles that we should all be looking to uphold, the institutions of our government themselves, that these people on that day tried to overthrow.
And that is a lie. That's why I told y'all, we could never stop disproving this J6 lie. This is what they want to hang on to for the rest of eternity, or at least the rest of the United States. They want this to be put in history books the way they painted and described it. I wonder if they're going to put in there that Donald Trump offered 10 to 20,000 troops that Nancy Pelosi turned down. I wonder if they're going to put that in there. Yeah. Real insurrectionists. Going to make it real tough on all of his insurrectionists by having troops be posted up to stop him? Why didn't he just use the troops for the insurrection? But when he offered it to Nancy Pelosi and Mayor Bowser, nah, we'll be fine. We don't want too much of a police presence because then the insurrection won't happen. All of our plants that we sprinkled in there with the FBI and other agencies won't be able to encourage the people to go into the Capitol. Yeah, how are we gonna have the National Guard there? You think they're gonna let that Bigfoot just been standing out there going, tomorrow we gotta go here, the Capitol's that way, it's that way. They'd have been like, whoa, whoa, Bigfoot, put that big finger down, man. Don't be sending these people in here. But nope. Yeah. How about they write in history that Nancy Pelosi was videotaped saying, it's my fault. I'm responsible for that. Hey, why don't they put that in there? See, they're not going to put any of that stuff in there, right? Huh? Why don't they put in the history books, the so-called insurrection, that man inside the Capitol dressed like a Trump supporter before the doors even opened? But yet the video camera showed him looking up at the head station, wherever they control the magnet thing, and he pointed at the door. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? He pointed at the door because it was locked. It was locked. If he would have left it locked, then those people couldn't have got in. But he told them, go ahead. And they said, click it, open the door, in come the people. You think they're going to put that in the history books? So that is why they have to fight like the Dickens to hang on to this narrative. Because they know Trump is going to be the bomb president, but they'll use this garbage forever. Talking about, but even though he saved our country from globalists, did all these wonderful things economically, he's still a twice impeached, 4-time convicted felon that was an insurrectionist.
Let's stop with the rank partisanship. The President of the United States of America has just pardoned people who physically attacked, violently led to the death of officers like Sicknick.
Lies. I mean, just straight lying. He knows that is not what led to that man's death. He knows it. And honestly, I saw clips of the darn J6 when they interacted with the police. I'm talking before, right when they was going in and you saw some going back and forth with the police officers. Yet you let these people tell it. These police officers are paper thin. I mean, they are full-blown disturbed now. They're going through PTS. I thought, you know what, it was so bad and stuff. We were fighting over this bike rack one time where they were pushing us back and forth. And then I was down. I fell, and I remember they just walked right in. I was like, no, stop, guys, you can't go. I radio in, and they told me, according to the script that they gave us, we have to get up now and run over to the south side of the building and pretend to let the doors open and walk around with the... I'm telling you, man, if you're not built tough enough for that situation, you want to know what have messed me up as a police officer? For liberal cities, mayors, and governors to defund us and demoralize us by allowing Black Lives Matter to take over our precinct and burn it down. That would have demoralized me. Unreal.
And we should be talking about that.
It was interesting to me. I was texting with a lot of Democrats from across the country, state legislative leaders, because this fight is going to be in the states. As much as we look at Congress, America's policy is made in the state legislatures. And one senior Dem state legislator from out west texted me and said, you know, he literally just let his private militia out of jail. He said he's
private militia out of jail. This is the crazy part about it, man. None of them would tell you how Trump was connected to the private militia. Was there a phone call? Was he training with the militia? Did he sponsor the militia? Did he coordinate with them? Nothing. No emails, no text messages. Did they know they were a private militia for Trump? Does Trump know he has a private militia? I'm pretty sure he has the Secret Service and the military. I mean, I would take that over a private militia with no weapons. But yeah, here she is. This is the job. This is what brainwashes the people. Verbiage like this. You know, all the hyperbole, private militia. He pretty much let his private militia out of jail.
Still the sense of loyalty. These people feel loyal to him, and their lawlessness is now going to go unchecked, and he can now.
The lawlessness is now to go on unchecked, like all of the Democrat protesters that they used to burn down cities for a whole summer. That lawlessness went unchecked. Not to mention, okay, that wasn't just one day. That was repeatedly over days and weeks and stuff like this. Not to mention, though, the lawlessness that's going to go unchecked with that J6 committee, who we know was involved in some shenanigans, and Biden's whole family. But you know what? That's different.
Call on them again to do what they would like. So I know a lot of Democrats have mixed feelings about the president's preemptive pardon of his family specifically.
Here we go. President Biden.
President Biden.
Here we go. Try to spin it.
Around here.
Try to spin
Be specific now. And I understand the concerns that people have.
Oh, well, look, wait. Why did his private, criminal organization? See, now, I understand it can soften the tone. Look, I understand that there's some concerns about the, you know what I'm saying? But just a minute ago, she was had a lot of bass in her voice, nasty tone, calling them private militias. Well, I look at the crackhead that was making all of that money for Joe Biden and giving it to the big guy. Yeah, that's his private, dang on mobster. Yeah, shaking down people. Hey, look, I'm sitting here right now with my dad. You better go ahead and listen to what I'm trying to tell. I need that money. You understand? That right there. Private crime family going on. And she's talking about his private militia.
But I also understand what the president said is that the incoming president, President Trump, has promised a special prosecutor to go after, look into the Biden family. And so what he did is respond to the climate.
You can tell in her voice she's uncomfortable even saying this because she knows it's pure shite. I know that because they told me to say the only reason he did this is because of the incoming president who was going to look into his family for no reason. For no reason. Is that normal for somebody to say, you know what? There's nothing, no evidence, no predicate, besides Trump, because they did it with Trump. But no predicate. We ain't got no bank accounts that are funneling money into your family's accounts. We ain't got none of that. We ain't got no, multiple banks, 4 of the major banks saying, we got some suspicious activities going on with these shell corporations of the Bidens. And we ain't got no reason to even investigate your family, but we're just going to do it anyway. No predicate. All of this evidence that makes everybody say this family is obviously corrupt. Not to mention, he pardoned them back before all of the corruption started. So he even knew, start the pardon here because that's when we became really corrupt. And this woman's talking about it's just because Trump and them said that he's going to go after his family. Boy, I hope this whole network gets shut down quickly. I heard they're getting sold. Dang on it. I should buy it one day if I hit the lottery and take a wrecking ball to it.
If the lawmakers don't like it, put a check on the president and pass a bill, okay? And curb the pardon powers. But until that happens...
With the pardons, what's your take on that?
Here's what I think. Were these people punished? Yes. Were they ruined financially? Yes. Did they spend time in jail? Yes. Have their lives been ruined? Absolutely. And one of you said earlier, Van or Axe, that you think this sends a terrible signal that you can get away with things like this, as though we've never had a moment in recent American history when people were not punished for rampaging around when they shouldn't have been. It was the summer of 2020.
Oh, yeah.
And
now here come the Joker. You see Van in that purple? Who you think he is, Prince? Up here talking about the way I had to stop you here, see, because Now, this guy is going to try to compare, I guess the J6 with the Summer of Love. It's not even a comparison, he's saying. Well, it's just that it was worse. J6 was worse. And I'm going, are you kidding me? Did you not watch all of that violent footage every single night in those Democrat SORAN cities, okay, of Antifa and Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, were actually punished. Those people were never even charged.
And they weren't even charged.
That's not true at all.
That's not true at all. You hear this guy? That's not true at all. No, you know what's true is that Kamala Harris was telling people to donate to bail these people out. That's true, Van. That's true. See, they didn't need a pardon. They had the vice president raising funds to bail them out of jail. So, you know what I'm saying? They didn't need a pardon. And you know what's true, Van? Yeah, after Jacob Blake violated his girlfriend, resisted arrest, and was shot, her butt goes down there to the hospital and sitting there talking about, you're so brave. No, that dude is a criminal. He violated a restraining order, violated his girlfriend physically, took her car, spent her money, and they called him brave. And this guy, but that's not true. Nobody paid the price. during the summer of love.
That's not true. Most charges have not.
Let him answer. But I do say differently in that I don't like it when people tear up buildings.
Like the building they burned down up there in Seattle or wherever it was at, that whole police building. Huh? You don't like that stuff? You don't like that, man? The multiple buildings that we saw burning over the summer?
At all. I'm not a part of some pro-riot, pro-crime lobby. But I really don't like when people attack police officers.
You mean like the summer of love? When hundreds of police officers were attacked and hurt? You mean like that? You must have didn't watch that stuff because he was Democrat voters doing it. So you don't like to see that, so you can sit back and pretend. I don't know what you're talking about, Scott. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't see none of that stuff. It all over the internet. Y'all got 1 day of footage. 1 day of footage, which is suspect, okay? Because remember, we had folks sprinkled in that crowd encouraging people. But yet we have months and possibly years of left-wing violence. And this guy, I don't like when police officers do stuff like that.
I really don't like it at all. I'm the son of a police officer. My uncle's a police officer. I don't like it at all. If you attack a police officer, before you get any lenience or before you get any support from this society, you should apologize. And they didn't. And that's wrong. And you yourself and others said you would have a problem if the violent ones were let go.
I can see it. I agree.
And that's my problem tonight.
I agree. I don't like the idea specifically the people that attack police. I'm in agreement with you on that. But I do think it is important to note that these people, whatever they did, whether it was just accidentally walking in or doing something much, much worse, Elliot, you can correct me if I'm wrong, most of them, if not all of them, did get punished, serve some kind of time. And my assumption is virtually all of them have had their lives effectively ruined.
But not Liz Cheney. Yeah, not Adam Singleton, not the J6 committee, and definitely not Biden's crackhead son. Nah, he's fine. And his whole criminal family, they're all good. See, they're not going to have to go through nothing, okay? And even with these so-called police officers, they attack police officers and stuff. Because, see, that's what they're trying to hang on to. Because they can't really justify why all of the people who didn't touch an officer, some of these people never even entered the Capitol. They was walking outside the Capitol and still got thrown in a slammer. Some of these people walked up, the doors were open, they walked in, police interacting with them, making them feel comfortable. And now all of a sudden, the feds are busting down their door and locking them up for years. Even with those folks that so-called attack the officers, I would still look at those cases. Maybe it wasn't an officer. Maybe these officers were encouraged to go ahead and provoke them. We don't know. That's why you got to investigate, especially when we find that there were people in there with their little cameras on, busted, saying, get in there, go up, push them up, and this and all of that. Especially when I got a video of two cops just standing there and behind a peaceful crowd. And he took a flashbang, looked around. See, this is why you know he was guilty. He looked over the shoulders twice and threw that flashbang right into the crowd. Boom! And the crowd goes crazy. And I'm thinking, you just incited these folks to go berserk. So I don't know. We got to look at who these cops were, what happened, were these people feeling like they needed to defend themselves or what? There's a lot of details. But this guy, he just, how about that, you know what, this, and that.
I think he's been plotting to do this for months and months and months, just like he was plotting to pardon Hunter Biden for months while lying to the American people about it. And this is the problem.
And you're a fool if you believe that he wasn't going to do it. I knew he was going to do it with the J6 people. I'm like, it's too many loose ends, man. These folks were obviously corrupt.
If you want to be outraged about Donald Trump's January 6th pardons, it's just hard for me to muster the same kind of.
But you did Scott, you did call them domestic terrorists.
Yes, look, I want to answer David because he addressed me about this earlier. I don't feel any differently about January 6th today as I felt on the day when you and I sat here about it. I don't feel any differently about it at all. It was a terrible day. It should not have happened. People should not have committed violent acts. And it was a stain on the end of Donald Trump's first term. However, I have taken in that event, his term, Biden's term, and then the American people took it all in, and they just rendered the ultimate adjudication for it. And the difference between the preemptive pardons and these pardons is the January 6th people, whether you like it or not, most of them did face severe punishment. Some have already been in jail and already out of jail. Yes, they got a pardon, but that doesn't mean they didn't face consequences for their actions.
And what about the J6 committee? What about Biden's family, who got all of this evidence laying around pointing towards they were doing some corrupt stuff? What about them? You think they're going to spend some time? What about Hunter? Did Hunter ever step one foot in jail? Did he ever do that? Did he spend some time? Did they even give this man community service? Nothing. But yet, the Democrats are always talking about injustice and the system is broken and the little man and black folks. Black folks are always being abused by the justice system and the minorities and stuff. And I'm going, according to what I'm seeing, your whole family has beat the system. That's white privilege. That right there is white privilege. And then the other ones got Democrat privilege.
My problem with Biden is none of these preemptive pardons people are going to face any consequences.
Nothing.
And
for what? For what? Now look at them all playing ignorant. All playing ignorant. There's no evidence. We don't know why they would even face any criminal consequence. They ain't do nothing. They ain't do nothing. Can't even believe I said that with a straight face. They all know Biden and his family is corrupt.
What are they? What crime did they rampage through the Capitol? What did they?
Tax evasion.
No, I'm not talking about Hunter Biden.
You tell me.
I'm not talking about Hunter Biden.
Why did they need it?
Well, I think
perfect response. Why did they need it? If you talk about for what? They didn't do nothing. They didn't do then why do they need the pardon? That's my question. Why do they need the pardon? See, these are questions we all have. But guys, they're losing it, man. They are flipping out because guess what? Not only did Trump get in and pardon all those people, these executive orders are digging into the left. Yeah, man. The hammer is falling down on them. And you know who I'm talking about. Tom the Hammer Holman. Hammer time. So let's see the reaction to all of this. Yeah, stop. Hammer time.
If the executive orders signed by President Trump involve immigration and the border, including ramping up deportations and a plan to end asylum. President Trump also says that he will end birthright citizenship, a right guaranteed by the 14th Amendment.
Immigrants' rights groups are condemning the actions, calling the attack on the 14th Amendment unconstitutional.
This is an executive order taking a large number of executive actions to secure our southern border.
Back in the Oval Office, President Donald Trump signing several executive orders related to immigration. One of them declaring a national emergency at the southern border. Taking center stage at his inauguration, Trump also promised to close the border to asylum seekers, recategorize drug cartels as foreign terrorists.
Yes! Now those are the terrorists. There you go. Foreign terrorists, baby. I don't see what's the problem with any of these executive orders and stuff like that. And I think any reasonable person who don't have an evil motive to try to change the demographics of our country for voting reasons and cheap labor would have to agree that the whole birthright citizenship is being abused. Yeah, these folks have found a loophole in the system. If I was somebody who knew how stupid our laws were, I would stand right at that border until my water broke. Sitting there right there, 9 months, leading belly first. Okay, I think it's coming. Soon as the water break, just step right over the line, drop the baby, and now I'm an American citizen. There you go. I have to have my baby in America. So it's time that somebody say, not anymore with that mess.
And end birthright citizenship.
And we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came.
Right after being sworn in for a second term, the Trump administration ended the use of a popular border app that allowed migrants to schedule appointments at 8 points of entry.
So you mean to tell me that Mucus and the Democrats created a nice, convenient app to help all of these illegal immigrants come into the border with no resistance? We don't want to inconvenience them, y'all. I mean, why make them wait? Have them scheduled ahead of time. Unbelievable. But yet they swept down. We were tough on the border. You think we were trying to get these people? Somebody said treason. Absolutely. Sitting back, creating a convenient app to bring all of these millions of people into our country. Not to mention flying them all over the place, feeding them, giving them bus tickets and stuff like that. Not to mention that. Unbelievable. And now people up here complaining about the executive orders.
Existing appointments no longer valid. Maria Mercado, an asylum seeker at the Tijuana crossing, says her future is now in limbo.
It's concerning that this call for mass deportations and this call to round up families and put them in a different country is a top priority for this administration.
And that's a shame. No, I think it's a shame when the president of our country, who's supposed to be securing our borders, said, if I were them, I would search the border. I think that's a shame. I think it's a shame when, the Homeland Security mucus went ahead and made sure that all of the Border Patrol was tied up processing millions and millions of people with their app that he created, while fentanyl was coming across our border. You know what else I think is a shame? Man with the cone on top of your head. Okay. I think it's a shame that 300,000 little kid immigrants who have been trafficked are missing because of the Biden administration, and we don't even know where they're at. How about you find that to be shameful, buddy, but you're worried about the administration, locking families up and sending them back where they came from. Boy, I tell you, these activists.
Not only because of the societal effects, the ripple effects in society, but also the economic issues.
Now they worried about economic issues and all of that stuff, the cheap labor. Yeah, you know how offensive this is if I was an illegal immigrant. Maybe I want to come here for the American dream. Maybe I want to become a senator or a president, but I can't do that. You mean tell me I'm reduced to cleaning toilets, picking fruit, working on farms, stuff like that? Yeah, but now he's worried about the economic stuff and the social stuff too. No, I think the social stuff will be better. Less crowded, in the hospitals, and, you're not going to be seeing what you're seeing on the streets in New York and in Chicago, stuff like that. We're not going to be hearing about all of these illegal immigrants that end up hurting an American citizen that was here, deported, came back, deported, locked up, got found. They ended up in a dang on sanctuary city, but they let them go. And then they end up going somewhere and killing somebody. Yeah, I feel a little bit safer knowing that a whole bunch of folks that shouldn't be in the country has been returned. But not this guy. He's saying, I'm worried about the economics.
That such initiative will burden the United States with.
Civil rights and Latino advocacy organizations say they plan on challenging many of these initiatives.
So you see how these globalists that want to destabilize our country and these Democrats that's going along with it is going to play this, right? Yeah, they're going to. That's why out in California, they done went ahead and instead of using that $50 million, to mess around and put fires out and stuff like that, they're using it to Trump-proof California so they can go ahead and save their illegal immigrants and make sure it's tied up in court. That's what they're all about. So let's continue, though, because they're all worried.
The 14th Amendment grants birthright citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the U.S., regardless of where their parents were born. So Trump's executive.
And you know what? As I look at these people, I get madder at the Biden administration and the Democrats for this. I mean, they have messed these people's lives up big time. Brought them all the way from wherever they were on the hopes that they would get here and be given citizenship. And I see some of them standing there with their kids, and I know they came a long way. They had to pay somebody because the cartel controls our border now, unfortunately. Because of the Biden administration. And they get here because of the pipe dream, and now they got to go back. But see, this is the part where you got to dig deep and deny that part of you to want to say, just let them stay. Can't do it, man. Tough situations require toughness. Got to sit back and say, I can't be broken by the tears that they're going to definitely go and interview every single one of the people who look like they are desperate and a victim and they're busted up on the inside. They're not going to go interview MS-13. Why not? So MS-13, we have some questions for you. Run over to them. How long have you guys been killing? How long have you been killing? We've been killing a long time. We like to kill. We don't like to use guns. We like to use all kind of other things. That's interesting. We heard that you guys are pretty vicious. Do you plan to kill again? Absolutely. In fact, when we finish this interview, I'm going to kill you. So, yeah, they don't want to go interview those people? No? Or they want to go find the crime mothers and stuff? Let's see.
Order, while purely symbolic at this point, could gain traction among his supporters.
Birthright citizenship is going to affect a lot of people, probably more than people think. I don't think it's going to affect only Latinos and more recent immigrants.
Beyond this point will result in the arrest, prosecution, and possible application of force.
That's how you stop the border from getting invaded. Wait a minute. The hammer is dropping. He is the hammer. So wait, let me get this straight. Those guys aren't playing? See, you're telling me that we don't have to worry about mucus telling them to step down and watching the immigrants run right past them? See what a real strong leader and leadership looks like? Yeah, they ran right past our National Guard folks down on the border under mucus. They knew nothing would happen to them. Nothing would happen to them. It's just like the protesters that the Democrats unleashed on us. Yeah, the reason they was attacking cops and burning stuff down, because they knew they'd get bailed out. They knew that was going to happen to them under Democrat rule. But they're looking at these guys, and they're going, this sounds serious. These dudes like, if you come past this point, we're throwing you in a slammer. If you can't understand it in English or in American, because we speak American, give it to them in Spanish. El no como to El America.
It won't take a lot of hate. We're going to be sued every day, numerous times. I think you'll see the left try to control the media. They're going to.
Oh, yes. See, he knows what's coming. And we got to brace for this impact, too. We have to prepare for it, y'all, because you know what they're going to do. The left who wants these folks to stay here, they're going to work real hard to try to change sentiments about this whole deportation thing by doing what? Exactly what the hammer said they're doing. You see the lady? You see the lady over here? Now, I'm assuming that she might be from another country, but who knows with the Democrats? She could be a full-blown actress. Let's see.
I'll show the first crying female, first crying child. Say how inhumane we are. But they won't talk about 340,000 children that they failed to take care of. They're not going to talk about
That's what they want you to see. There it is. She's, oh! And my boy Gregory Hines, ooh, hee. So let's see here. And action.
The young women who have been murdered in this country at the hands of criminal cartels. They're not going to talk about the hundreds of angel moms and dads who buried their children. You want to talk about family separation? They buried their children. Their children were killed by a member of the...
Boy, I tell you, they left that camera on that lady, man, the whole time. Like, could you give us one more of those? Ooh! Yeah, that's it. We need some more of that. Then one time she slid down whatever she was holding on to. I mean, this is what they want. They are going to make sure they find every example of somebody doing all of that and then blast it all over. Look what the Trump. But notice, they're not out there doing their hard-hitting investigative work to find those 350,000 missing illegal immigrant kids. They're not doing that. They're not sitting around talking about, you know what, let's go and videotape all of the parents of, like Lake and Riley. Let's go catch their parents crying because their daughter was killed by an illegal immigrant that came across the border because of Joe Biden and all of them, and they'll never see her again. Let's go record them in their despair and in their tears. Matter of fact, we're not even going to cover that Trump goes and talks to these people and all of that stuff. We don't want that. We want to make it seem like Trump is just evil and he's just wanting these people to go back home because he's a racist. That's what it is. They're not a threat. Trump's just a racist. So now, guys, the left loses it. Activate outrage. Oh, yeah, here it comes.
This week,
especially over this,
I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life.
You know they about to go berserk. It's about to turn into the jungle. Especially when you're dealing with two weapons that the Democrats and the left has been using, race and gender. And Trump's like, we're going to attack that mess. Basically, identity politics.
We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
But that's racist. Here's Trump. Colorblind society, which we should be shooting for. But then, how would those race baiters stay in business? How would the Democrats be able to convince anybody to vote for them without saying, you know what, the other people are racist? They need that. Don't you get it? So here we go, y'all. Because now they got to come out and defend some more stupidity. Trump's back, baby.
Today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders.
Only two? You mean to tell me, y'all, we get to go back to two? Y'all remember the good old days when there was only two? Whew. Man, those were the days. Those were the days. But then, of course, the last 8 years, the Democrats went crazy and they start supporting all kind of, mystical stuff. Who knows? I mean, there's infinite genders. And we have to honor all of that. But look, we now going back to two. This is a celebration. Let's continue because they're going to go crazy.
Male and female.
Look at that. Man, something us humans have lost sight of. Good grief. This was back in the days when humans knew there were only two genders until the dumb Democrats came along. Yes. So we went through a season of delusion and looniness, and now we're back. That's what you're saying? So let's see the type of Democrat supporters that the Democrats are protecting this narrative for. Let's see, their base. Because, see, I don't know why they're hanging on to this. I don't know why they're still fighting to protect DEI, why they're still fighting to protect the transgender craziness and stuff like that. Because this is their base now. Their base is upset, guys. Coming up.
A few moments later.
Donald Trump was inaugurated at 12, and just a few minutes ago, he's now claimed that there will only be the male and female gender that will be recognized in a...
You mean he went back to declaring what it's always been? Now, see, this is what I mean. This is the base. I kind of feel sorry for these people because it's really mental. These people right now are in mental decline, man. They need some help. They need some help. So here's a person who is crying, thinking that Donald Trump is the one that declared it's only two genders. No, that was God. It was nature. It's always been two genders, but the Democrats are defending these people. Now, I feel sorry for these people because they're messed up mentally. But this person really believes that now all of a sudden we're going back to two genders because just Trump said it, not because of science. Not because of science. And the Democrats, instead of saying, you need help, honey, they would defend this person.
America, this sets back everything that the trans community has been working for. And we have already not been recognized in this country for...
Now, see, here we go. You haven't been recognized in the country or in the whole world because there's no such thing as a transgender. There you go. See, and we're not setting back anything. Y'all did not change the sexes. Y'all didn't come up with y'all didn't discover something. What did you do? Go in the basement? We're going to make a third or fourth gender. Matter of fact, sprinkle a whole bunch of infinity genders in there. Didn't change nothing. I don't care how hard these people work. They will always come up frustrated. They will never get what they want because it's impossible. But instead of telling them that to help them get back to normality, the Democrats encourage this mess and try to call everybody else a racist, a xenophobe, a homophobe, and a transphobe who don't support their problems. But this person's busted up, man.
Centuries. If we remember, gay marriage became legal 10 years ago. We had just earned the right to change our gender on our...
Earn the right? Did you call up God and ask him? And he said, I got you. I'm on it. There's no way you could do it. See, this is the delusion. And this is why I say anybody who votes for the Democrats that come out here and endorse this type of delusion, shame on you. That means you're okay with these people being, one, corrupt and deceitful because you're encouraging mental, issues there. This person needs some help. You're encouraging it. Oh, yes, it's not your fault. It's the conservatives. They're transphobes. They won't let you guys change your gender. We ain't got nothing to do with that. You can go ahead to the hospital, have them work on you, give you all the medicine you want. But at the end of the day, you're either a man or a woman. All right? But this person, Trump's in office now. World's coming to an end. Now she can't even be he or whatever. Can't even be transgender.
passports and IDs. Just because I want to identify as a man does not mean I am trying to hurt you.
I ain't worried. Nobody's worried about that. You can go ahead and identify as whatever you want. But when you try to push legislation or you push it into society to try to force us to accept it, to accept that delusion, then we got a problem with it. And see, this movement is aggressive. Notice our movement. He's talking about, look at the progress. We're moving. Basically, we're shoving it into society. Not only that, we're trying to make you guys accept this by allowing men and women to go in the bathrooms, kids, enforcing this on the kids and trying to, encourage the kids to explore this stuff. Nobody wants this. See, but the Democrats, for some reason, think this is a popular issue to hook their wagon to.
In these next 4 years, you are going to hear the most intense anti-trans propaganda you have ever heard in your entire life. And
the anti-trans propaganda is nature. There it is. Nature's against transgenderism because nature is saying, I don't care. Run from it. Destiny arrives all the same. Yeah, man. Nature's your enemy. God created male and female. All you got to do is look at the animal kingdom. Why are they smarter than us? I don't understand it. Yeah, these people right here are losing it. You got the male dog. He knows to go ahead and chase the female dog. There's no third category.
they're going to strew it in a way that sounds extremely convincing because it will.
You mean like reality? It's construed in a way that sounds really convincing, like reality. There you go. Baby pop out. Is that an apple stem? Congratulations, it's a boy. There you go, reality. That's pretty convincing.
It'll fearmonger. It will fearmonger everyone's insecurities.
Insecurities. This is what kills me. It's always the fear mongering and stuff like that. And I'm going, transphobia would mean we have an irrational fear of transgenders. I don't, because I know they don't exist. That's like saying, okay, if you got an irrational fear of elves. And I'm going, elves are like mystical. Yeah, but I think you're, because I'm an elf. No, you're delusional. Elves don't exist. But you know what? That's your problem. You don't see me as what I am. You're trying to unexist me. I'm an elf. And I'll be going, you're trying to make me go crazy because I know that elves don't exist, so I'm not afraid of them. I think we can help you realize you're not an elf if we don't entertain these delusions.
Please talk to your neighbors, protect your trans community, stay involved, and do not forget us because history will try to erase it.
I feel bad for these people. I really feel bad for them because, see, they've been encouraged by the radical left. The woke left have encouraged them instead of discouraging them. See, I'm sure people 20 years ago probably had these crazy thoughts and ideas and stuff, but society kept them in check. We didn't have politicians and folks that people look at as an authority in society encouraging this mess. So what would happen, you keep that on the inside, you would sit back, go get some counseling, but now you don't need counseling, you're fine. You're fine. Now here comes another one.
Guys, everything feels really out of control and scary, and I'm really anxious. Elon Musk, did a Nazi salute.
Oh, God. Oh, did y'all hear that when Elon Musk did a Nazi salute? Because he said, there you go. Yeah, he was that bold. It was a dog whistle. It was a secret Nazi thing. He tapped his chest, said, y'all are all in my heart. Hint, hint. Hail Hitler. That's what he did, y'all. But see, understand, the fact that this person is referencing these things lets me know. Mentity.
For some reason, that's so scary. And Donald Trump's the president, and that's so scary. And
so scary.
He basically admitted to voter fraud, but we're all just kind of glossing over that.
Voter fraud. Trump admitted to voter fraud.
Also, if you look up, this is random, if you look up right now in the search bar on TikTok, the Taylor Swift song, The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, it's all, for me at least, I'll show you.
We're the parents. We're the parents to these young people. These are all young people who are going to drive themselves absolutely nuts. They really are that delusional. Trump's about to do this and he's going to unexist me. And what are we going to do? I'm so scared. And I'm going, man, we got a serious mental health issue in our country and it's been induced. Yeah, some of it's been induced. Some people you just got it in you. You know, you always know one person that's sitting on a bus kind of, and you're going, okay, that person got something on the inside. What's going on? But then you got some that's, you know, fairly sane, but you get hold to the right information and influence and you snap.
It's all like replaced with women, question mark. Like, what is about to happen? Like, I have like such like impending doom and fear.
Living in fear. Living in fear. Oh. So wait, you're worried about Trump sending the transgender police to bust down your door right now? There you go. I thought we got wind that you think you're a transgender. Taking you away to reprogram you. Now, even though you're a grown person and able to make your own decisions, and if you leave everybody else alone, we'll leave you alone. But no, that's not good enough. We're going to take you into our transgender camp and detransgender you.
And like, what is about to happen? So I'm just laughing because I'm scared. Like, I don't, why, like, I'm not understanding either why Elon Musk is involved. Isn't he not American? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, what is going on with this generation right here? These folks are the vulnerable people in our society, man, and they really need help. I hope notice they all look like social misfits. They got to play the part. And I'm thinking, where's the family structure? Maybe they went astray. Maybe you had a father and a mother who actually had this, I'm a rebel and I'm going to succumb to TikTok and YouTube and whatever else influenced you. But I could just look at these people and tell, man, they're in trouble. But yet the Democrats encourage these type of anxieties. They want these people really walking around thinking that Trump's this dangerous to them. Going to roll back all their rights. And then you'll probably see some of them running around with Antifa burning down buildings.
What is happening?
Been covering President Trump's planned executive orders, including actions rolling back DEI policies. Yamiche, tell us about it.
Tell us about it.
Well, good afternoon, Lester. I've been talking to a number of legal experts related to the executive orders on DEI, which of course is diversity, equity, and...
What's wrong with her voice? Why can't she form those words? Huh? Sound like you got peanut butter on the roof of your mouth. You sound like a dog with peanut butter on the roof. Listen how she said.
Inclusion as well as...
Watch this. Watch how she said that.
Related to the executive orders on DEI, which of course is diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Diversity, equity, inclusion, but what the heck was going on with that? She got some peanut butter stuck there?
Well as gender identity. The Trump administration and the President Trump are planning to sign an executive order where they would be saying that there are two biological sexes, male and female. And to that end, they would be rolling back any sort of gender, issues or any sort of gender things that are talking about anything that's non-binary or anything that is not specifically male or female. And to that part, I've been talking to a legal expert who say there could be immediate impacts on that executive order, including in prisons, migrant shelters, as well as in spaces like rape shelters. That could mean that people that are transgender could be moved out of those spaces
to where they're supposed to be. People will be moved out of those spaces to where they're supposed to be. Dude, you got an apple stem. Get your tail over there with the men. But you can't sit me over there because I'm a woman. But you got a tallywhacker. Take that tallywhacker right on over there with the guys, okay? Yeah, you want to look like a woman, they'll appreciate you. Get on over there. You should be wanting to go over there with the guys if you think you're a woman. But all of a sudden, you want to hang out with the women. Full-blown grown man. Sit me over there, you're violating my rights. No, I'm sending you where you're supposed to be. It ain't no dang on civil rights issue when it comes down to your sex. Oh, boy. So here we go. Here she is trying to word it.
That they say align with their gender identity and instead moved into spaces that deal with their biological sex in the way that the Trump administration is seeing this. So we can see immediate impact on that. We also are hearing that...
You see where we're at in society? When we're discussing this craziness, like just... If this clip would have played, if they could have sent this back in time. If this was 1999, I was dreaming when I wrote this. Forgive me if it goes astray. But when I woke up this morning, could have swore it was Judgment Day. Take me back to 99 and drop this clip on me and I'll be going, what kind of funny comedy is this? What are they talking about? Why are they even discussing whether we're guys and girls should be? This is madness. I mean, whoever wrote this movie. But now here we are in reality going, we're sitting back trying to really break this mess down in society. This shouldn't even be a topic. Thanks, Democrats, who ushered this nonsense in.
That the Trump administration is going to be changing the way that passports and federal documents are going to be used and utilized, and taking away those gender identity terms. In that regard, a legal expert told me that if you're someone who's transgender, who has a passport that maybe has gender X on it, they would caution you not to leave the country because you could literally be detained by border agents because you couldn't have your gender entered into the system if the Trump administration...
Yeah, because normally when you put X, nobody knows what that means. See, that's the problem. All right, to step up. All right, wait a minute. Says gender X. Are you a guy or a girl? Neither. So the X is, are you like Prince, just a symbol? I don't understand. You know what? How about you stand over there until we can figure this out? Next.
Is no longer identifying it. So that means if you're someone who leaves the country, you could literally not be let back in until the State Department...
Until you get right. There it is, until you get right. You're not getting in here until you can define what you are. You understand me? We don't want an X coming in here. All right? You're either an X or an O. Now make your decision. So let's continue.
And issued you a passport that said you were either male or female. So really need to look out for those immediate consequences. I've also been talking to people about these DEI programs. And one expert at the NAACP Legal Defense Fund told me that it's a big question what exact programs are going to be targeted. But they said to me that if it prohibits anything that deals with discrimination on race or gender, while they might see real legal challenges there, those could also be immediately implemented. And they expect, though, to have a lot of lawsuits related to that, but that even with the Trump administration, presidents have the ability to do what they want when it comes to dealing with the federal government's issuance of these programs. So definitely a big fights ahead, and also though immediate impacts that we expect less.
Yeah, big fights ahead, y'all. So now, this whole community, the transgender community, the gay and lesbian community. Honestly, I don't even know why the gay and lesbian community is even involved with the transgender community because they bump heads all the time. Nobody's going after the gay and lesbian community at all. And they wouldn't be messing with the transgender community if they weren't trying to infiltrate all of society. They just go ahead and live their lives and leave the kids alone and stay out of women's stuff. But nonetheless, here's this one guy, from England. He got his take on it.
As we all know, Trump is now president of the United States, and Trump is bringing in laws to only recognize people as their assigned gender at birth.
Now you see Little Bo Peep? You see this dude with that deep voice? Hey, look, he has long hair, therefore he's a girl. All of a sudden, Trump is bringing in. So now this person got too much bass in the voice.
There's a lot of implications about this. So, you know, basic things, right?
Right.
One, what about people who've transitioned, right?
What about them?
What about trans people? Mm-hmm. You know, people who transition. You pretty much are outlawing being trans.
No, nobody's outlawing it. Nature did that. Once again. Is this a third category of humans? This is fascinating to me. What about trans people? I'm going, what are you talking about? Nobody said, you can't do it. It's impossible, man. Man, I would love to grow some wings and take off right now, but I can't.
And what about those trans people who have changed their name and sex legally? What, are you going to reissue them new birth certificates? And, you know, third. Right. What about, you have literally created a position where there's going to be men going into women's spaces now and women going into men's spaces.
No, that's what's been happening. We're trying to make it go back to what it's supposed to be. This is the perversion in their heads. This person thinks that now that the men who think they're women are going to have to start going back to men's bathrooms, you're going to be forcing the women to go into men's bathrooms and men going to women's bathrooms. When we're trying to prevent men from going into women's bathrooms and women going into men's bathrooms. Do you see? Do you see where we're at mentally? But we got one more before we go.
As a trans person myself, like the thoughts of my rights in the future being, threatened is something that's scary. I'm not excited for the next 4 years.
How do you feel about Trump being inaugurated for his second term today?
Here we go.
I think in total it is a terrifying thing to happen in the United States. I think it is a bit disgusting that we've allowed a felon into office and someone who is so hateful towards people of color, towards people who are queer, and just towards women, towards people who deserve to have rights in America.
See, this is the victim mentality. He's hateful just because he won't let us do what we want, just because he don't believe in giving us additional rights. There it is. He's hateful. If he won't let us go around and bully everybody into accepting this whole ideology, then all of a sudden he's hateful. So once again, you notice who's all supporting this. This is the young folks who done bought into this, and of course the Democrats who support this.
And what do you think Trump being reelected into office kind of means for the future of LGBTQIA plus rights in America?
I think the biggest issue right now is thinking for minors, people who are 18 years of age.
Minors. And this is why we got a problem with it. Because see, there it is. They want to direct their attention to the kids. What are you doing talking about minors?
Have a little bit more freedom because you can go to different states at that point. And I could go up to Minnesota if I really needed to. We've seen a lot of increase in anti-LGBTQ legislation for people who are under 18. They're not able to achieve hormone therapy, that sort of thing. And that's very difficult for mental health.
But that's a problem, right? That's a problem because the kids under 18 can't get hormone therapy. Yeah. See, and yet we're the crazy ones. We're the ones that's evil and hateful. Look at these.
In 4% of America right now. What have the mental repercussions of Donald Trump being the 47th president?
Yeah, what's the mental?
I'm personally here because I had a mental breakdown after Donald Trump won. It's devastating.
Mental breakdown after he won, y'all. Young people, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. Thank God. A lot of young people have turned back towards conservatism. But these people, look at this person. Here's an angel, guys. I think I did find a fairy. All right, what this person got to say?
It's absolute complete devastation to people's mental, emotional, physical, and psychological health. People are
not like mine, though. Here I am walking around, and it's not Halloween, but I'm dressed like a full-blown angel. There it is. But yet it's dangerous to people's mental health. If I had a kid and I saw her on TV dressed like an angel, I'd be like, was it a costume party or something, hun? No, I like walking around looking like an angel. Your mom and I are going to come get you this weekend. Could you pack your things, okay? Because see, I guess she's on a campus somewhere dressed like an angel.
dying as a result of Trump
People are dying.
being elected. There are people
who are dying as a result. Trump's been elected and been sworn in one day. Where are the people who died from that? Trump got elected. Boy, I tell you, man. But in her mind, it makes sense to watch her get jammed up.
dying by because they don't want to live in a country where their rights are not respected and them as people are not seen as people, but rather than objects that should be eliminated.
You know what I think should be eliminated? The fake angels. Go back to being a regular human. You're walking around thinking you're an angel. But look at these.
It's a downward mental impact. It's not good.
My biggest.
It's a downward mental impact. Not good. Look at the people who say these things. Man, I'm telling you, I would zoom down to these campuses in the man truck so fast. If my kid was on there talking like this, throw him in the back. I wouldn't even let him ride in the cab. I'd get in the back. All right, close the door and get up out of there. Shoot to the crib to detox him. I see you got all drunk on woke. Got to detox you. You're not leaving this room until you're clean.
Worry right now, honestly, as a mother of a trans kid.
The mother of a trans kid. But these are Democrat voters. See, this is the group that the Democrats be like, that's right, that's our base.
It's the neighborhood.
The neighborhood.
Not welcome.
That's why I need to be here.
Yep, take her away, boys. There you go. This is the neighborhood. That you're not supposed to be here. That's how radical, crazy behind woke leftists they react. Don't talk to me. You're not allowed, you white nationalist xenophobe, and I'll just scream and act crazier. And then we'll close with this, guys, because see, all of this craziness, they tried to send out somebody who can be an advocate for them. Yeah, who maybe could talk some sense. into to Trump. So somehow somebody slid in a bootleg, woke behind so-called minister or preacher or bishop to go ahead and give Trump a, I guess, a verbal kind of lashing / beg him to look out for these people. Now, she should be praying for these people and their mental conditions. That's what she should be doing. But instead, somebody let her slip through the cracks. And look what happened. Diablo slid in, and you can tell right off rip what this lady's about. Watch this. So here's the morning breakfast. The prayer breakfast.
One final plea.
Uh-oh. Right off grip. Right off grip. When you come out there with the Dumb and Dumber haircut as a female. You coming out there with the bowl cut. You're coming out there with the, Three Stooges. To make sure everybody know I'm manly. So now here's this bishop. And I already know, as soon as I saw her, I'm like, oh God.
Mr. President, millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now.
Now, you're about to witness one of the funniest things. When I watched this clip about 10 times, and every time I saw what you're about to see, I busted out with a full belly laugh, okay? Because this woman thinks she's getting through. Yeah, she's like, I'm about to drop some wokeness. I done slid in. I don't even know how I got here. I don't even know how I slipped through the cracks. But here I am now. And I'm going to virtue signal. And instead of me talking about the gospel, the Bible, keeping it, I'm going to use my moment to do a little activism. Or should I say spread some demonicism. Okay, because she ain't no preacher. Holy Spirit ain't leading her to say this garbage.
There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families.
Right there. We in trouble. Right there. Somebody should have been turning the mic volume down. Turn it up so it's feedback. Beep. Yeah, mess with her. Get her out of there. Where's the cane? Says gay children. Why are you talking about gay, transgender kids in the pulpit? Especially as a so-called minister, God made man and woman. But here you talking about transgender kids. So right off grip, I'm like, how did woke get up there? How did woke get in the pulpit? Let's continue though.
Some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants.
You see that?
Who wash the dishes.
Yeah, the peasants, the serfs. She think that she's virtue signaling and defending them. But notice the jobs that she's talking about. Yeah, she got the racism of low expectations. The people who, that they mop our floors and, they scrub the bottom of my feet and they make sure they cut my grass out. Those people, the ones, the serfs, the peasants. Listen to this chick, but she thinks she's dropping a sermon on Trump.
After we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals,
Wait, they're not lawyers? They can't be doctors? They can't be accountants? Nothing? Man, y'all hear that, illegal immigrants, if you're coming? If you're coming here, that's as far as you can go. Pool boy. There you go. That's it. Get those leaves out. Let's continue.
They may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals.
Now see, you are not of God when you use your pulpit to get up there and try to bully Trump into doing something stupid. Now understand, the Bible also says, obey the laws of the land. Okay, all right? We're not to be stupid and let our country be taken advantage of. But here she is trying to manipulate the audience and Trump based on hiding behind a collar. Yeah, somehow somebody let her into their organization to pretend to be some kind of, I guess, gay bishop. And she's using the podium. Now, she ain't talking about scriptures. She didn't break nothing down to support what she's saying. It's all activism. But hey, you need to listen to me because look, I got a caller. I'm a priestess or something like that. And all I see is Diablos using this woman.
They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands.
Where are all these people that's coming that's fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands? Why aren't you saying, Mr. President, I'd like you to have mercy on all of our homeless people and all of our, military folks, the veterans who are homeless and sick. And I want you to do that, Mr. President. See, this right here, man, these are the churches that you want to get up out of quick. If you roll up in that church and you see her up there with that butch cut, and she start off talking about some gay and lesbian and trans kids, get yourself up and sprint right down the middle of the aisle, full speed, where the back of your feet is kicking up and dust is going all over the place, holy water splashing. Grab a couple of those crackers on the way out, throw those back for energy, and keep it going. Get up out that church quick. So how does she slide in? Who let the woke bishop in?
To find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we will all.
This is a manipulation of scripture. You do understand it. This woman is using the scripture for her own, agenda. And then also trying to guilt people into breaking our laws. That's what burns me up about this chick. I don't know what organization she's a part of, but they need to reconsider. They need to get it together.
Once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being.
This is the moment where it kicked in like, wait a minute. Somebody done slid in some wokeness. Watch this.
Speak the truth to one another in love and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican.
Oh, boy. Yeah, she's lost her audience. J.D. Vance is like, do you hear this shite? So now here she is, thinking she's dropping her woke message, trying to encourage Trump to take it easy on all of these executive orders and the folks with the Kool-Aid in their hair that we just saw and the angel just running around and all of that stuff. But instead, it's having the reverse effect. So my man, J.D. Vance, didn't even disguise it. He's like, okay, enough of this. Enough. Do you hear? His wife looking up there like, are you kidding me? But wait, it gets worse.
Independent families. Some who fear.
Look at these people. Like, how did she slip? Who is this lady? Where is she going? Bishop who? What church she belong to? Somebody's going to fry for this. Somebody's job is at risk. Okay, let's see. We got, there's a lady bishop. You know what? Instead of vetting her, let's go ahead and have her do the speak. Horrible. But watch this. Watch Trump. This is the moment where Trump had enough.
The people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants.
Oh, God.
Who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants.
Look. JD done had it. He's like, are you kidding me? But yet, she's up here thinking, I'm trying to get through to them. I think that I might be able to reach deep down. I think God's using me. In her head, she thinks God using her. Oh, yeah. Diablo's using her. Now she's going to be immortalized on the internet for being the dumbest, most woke, stupid priestess or whatever she is ever. And it shows in the audience's faces. You got to read the crowd, man. So, yeah, she gets up there and drops this on it. JD done gave her 2 side looks. But here comes the man himself. Watch Trump.
Work the night shifts in hospitals.
Here it is.
They may not be citizens.
You gotta love him. Trump hit her with the... like, are you hearing this mumbo jumbo?
Or have the proper documentation.
Oh, man, look.
But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals.
Oh, God.
They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members.
Somebody go up there and rip that mask off, because I'm sure that's Elizabeth Warren under there or something. It got to be Some woke Democrat that slid in with a rubber mask. All right, let's see. This is our last chance to save our immigrants. All right, Elizabeth Warren, go up there and do it. Look at Melania.
Churches and mosques. I'm a person of faith, surrounded by people of faith. And with God's help, I believe that unity in this country is possible.
And she really believes God is using her. Yeah, she went and wrote that. That's the crazy part about it. She wrote that and went in there thinking that I'm about to change Trump's heart. All you did was harden it, okay? All you did was encourage him. This is why we don't like wokeness, okay? We don't want that mess in the pulpit. We don't want it in the jobs. We don't want it in the military. We don't want it nowhere.
Not perfectly, for we are imperfect people and an imperfect union, but sufficient enough to keep us all believing in and working to realize the ideals of the United States of America, ideals expressed in the Declaration of Independence with its assertion of innate human equality and dignity. And we are right to pray for God's help as we seek unity.
And see, these are those moments where you have the right to resist the leader trying to encourage you to get along with that. Yeah, she come talking. I would not be even thinking about praying with this woman. If she get up there, all right, now let us all pray. I would be like, nah, I pray against you. I rebuke the woman with the butch cut. I come against these Satan done slid in unaware.
For we need God's help, but only if we ourselves are willing, nations upon which unity depends.
What did you think of the sermon?
And as we close, here's what did you think of the sermon?
What did you think of the
sermon?
What did you think?
What did you think?
Did you like it? Did you find it exciting? Not too exciting, was it?
Not too exciting, was it? No, it wasn't exciting, Trump. Yeah, when Trump couldn't even disguise it no more. He tolerated it long enough. Sat there and listened to her going and on. I thought we got to save all the children and the parent that ripped her. I'd have stopped her right there. Excuse me, Bishop. How about we pray for those 350,000 missing kids under the Democrat Party because of their woke policies? We got 350 missing, okay? How about you pray for that? So anyway, y'all, they ain't gonna let up. They're having an egg. They're flipping out. They sending in bootleg priests to try to convince, but they can't stop it. They can't stop what's coming. The hammer's coming and the cannon. Yeah, man. And I'm enjoying the ride watching these people make fools of themselves. She probably walked out of there like, I think I did good. I think I did good. I think I moved the needle. I mean, did you see him? He looked like he was getting emotional and stuff when I was talking. I think I got to him. Yeah, that wasn't emotion. That was anger. That's what that was. It was like okay. Who did you say booked this person? Okay, yeah. First thing when we get out of here, tell them to meet me in the Oval. Anyway, so God bless y'all. God bless America. We're going to get a kick out of these people for the next 4 years, perhaps. Maybe they'll calm down. Who knows? But boy, I tell you, I'll be chuckling. I'll be busting myself up laughing at these people. But make sure you come back tomorrow, same time, same place, 7 o'clock. I'm going to do it all again if I can, Lord willing. If I can get through this cold, I got to go out and actually move some drywall tomorrow in the cold. All right, just in case y'all I come in wrapped up like a mummy, you already know what's happening. But I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. I know I went a little long. I knew it was going to be a little long based on those clips. But don't forget to text MAGA to this number right here on the screen, 330-974-4607. And at the same time, check out Kevin's Corner Store if you want to support the channel. And you can also donate through my Cash App or my PayPal link. And then subscribe to my alternative channel and any other of the links. Follow me on those. The links are all below the videos, okay? Other than that, God bless y'all. God bless America. We will see y'all tomorrow. This is All City. Tear up the place, yeah. Take care.